Bueno, 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 bueno. Hola, Tanya Lee. I'm an inspirational psychic medium. And it is the full moon, my beloveds. Yay, the full moon. How exciting. Oh, I gotta go get the other. Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing today? It's the full moon, April 6th, on such a magical week. Such a magical, magical week, isn't it? So much going on in this week. Not to mention, that has not even anything to do with our spiritual stuff. You got the collective, you got Ramadan, you got the last week of Jesus. For those of you that celebrate Good Friday and Easter, regardless of what you think, he did rise again. He did show us that life is possible after death. What a grateful gift. I'm going to get this coal going so we can burn our stuff and be able to burn our bay leaves later. If you guys could kindly share out, I'd greatly appreciate it. I did my full moon bath. I feel nice and refreshed. Could have put on some of my oils. Hey, hey, hey. Bueno, 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 Curtis. And y'all don't have any of my new oil, you're missing it. Such good stuff. It smells so wonderful. So how's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's doing well. Let me share out real quick and then I'm going to go ahead and pray. Could kindly share out, I'd greatly appreciate it. It just shows your love and support. Turn it down. I just have a few places to share. It won't take me but a second. Hey, Peggy. Oh, good. Good. I'm glad it was very productive. VIPs, if you are here, please make sure that you let my angels know so they can get you on the list. We're only going to do that for the first 45 minutes of the live. Well, we're going to take names for 30 minutes, and then we're stopping after that because I have 33 cards laid down out here to give the collective, plus we've got to burn some bay leaves, so we do need to stay in stride. Because it is a work day for many people. A couple other places that I promised to share. wish I could share everywhere, but I can't. And still be able to show up and be here because we all know how that goes, right? Second here. All right, how's everybody doing? Sorry. Oh, wasn't paying attention. Okay, so now I can get back to seeing it. How's the music? Everything good? Hey, hey, hey. All right, let's go ahead and pray so we can get started. Let me... Music's good. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're going to do something different here. That candle's a little sunken in. And we all know I'm clumsy, right? What a fitting day, right before Good Friday, right before the Easter, Ramadan's going on. So see, everybody's got their own little thing going on this week around the world, so the collective's a little on the crazy side as normal. Plus what we have going on with all the politician stuff and health stuff and okay, thank you, Amanda. All right, let's go ahead and pray so we can get started. If this is your first time here, I like to pray over my circle before I do readings. I take spirituality very seriously, and when I'm calling upon Spirit to connect with me, I have a ritual that I do. Is Peggy here? Peggy will probably take over. All right. And as I pray, just, whatever works for you, doesn't matter. Ah, there you are, Peggy. Whatever works for you, just sit there, put your feet on the ground, listen to the music. on the 4 archangels to please step forward and help me put a protection of white golden light around me and my circle. Anyone then on this live or who will watch this on the replay, I ask you, Michael, the element of fire to the south, Uriel, the element of earth to the north, Gabriel, the element of water to the west, and Raphael, the element of air to the east. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thy is the power and the kingdom and glory forever and ever. Amen. I'd like to ask God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit, archangels, guardian angels, spirit guides, ascended masters, to please step forward and help me deliver messages of light and love. I also ask that all messages be for the greatest, highest good, and no lower level energies enter our space. I also ask that no spirit try to step forward and speak or connect at this time, as these messages are only meant for only higher beings. I ask all this in the beautiful name of Jesus. Amen. And so it is. I think clearly, I see clearly, I speak clearly. Amen. Again. Amen, amen, amen. Woo-hoo-hoo. How's everybody? All right. So, for those of you that are first time here, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. On the full moon, I like to do a collective spread for all of us, because a full moon it's not just about your own personal stuff, right? It's a collective thing. As we see how the moon controls the oceans, right, and the tides, and so much other things, and this gives us the opportunity to come together and see what we have in store and what we need to concentrate on going into this next month, okay, collectively, together. And then I do have my VIPs. I have excuse me, I have a VIP group. It's where members, they have joined, and they get free cards tonight. So the very first half we will be doing the VIPs and their cards. I have a private group, it's VIP. I do monthly giveaways. There's free Qigong in there. There's personalized chat in there. There's a library of information. And we're starting to do activities and stuff together. It's only $4.99 a month. So if that's something you're interested in, you can go join and be guaranteed a card tonight. Or, just check it out. All my links and everything are down below. Tonight there won't be any paid reading. If you want a personal paid reading, you can always reach out to me, and I can do that for the same price as a live reading. It's just called a messenger reading, and I deliver it to you via messenger. Oh, thank you for the stars. I send you audio and video to your messenger. Okay, I put a lot into my my readings here, because I think that this is important, that we come together on. It's individually, but it's also a time to come together, isn't it? Where we can, collectively see which way the energy's going, and remember that nothing is ever set in stone. We have the ability to, we hold the tiller in our hand, right? As I always say. So we're going to get started. Please don't go anywhere. Trust me, you're going to love this free spread. And we are also going to burn some bay leaves, okay? And we'll do a release. And that'll be a time for you to release. The full moon's all about release. If people tell you the full moon's about manifestation, they don't know their moon business. I see many spiritual people talking about doing manifestations. Let's not get that twisted. This is a time for us to release, know what it is that's holding us back, and face that truth and acknowledge that truth and start working towards it. And then the moon kind of follows with us to help guide, help push us into better things. And then we come upon the manifesting. But how can you manifest if you haven't relieved what's keeping you trapped? And what's keeping you trapped could be a number of things, okay? It could be a number of things. But at the end of the day, they will all boil down to lack of self-worth or love. Anything that's holding you back is going to boil down to lack of self-worth or self-love every single time. And it's going to be based on a fear. So that's why I like to do a lot of collective things, because alone we can be afraid of anything. It's easy to be afraid when we are alone. But when we stand united, we're not alone. And that's where less fear is. All right, so please stay tuned, because we are going to be doing I'm burning my own resin mix that I make. So if you're wondering what all that smoke is, I'm going to start doing my VIPs, and then we'll do the bay leaves, and then we'll get started on. I've got 33 cards. I posted a little short video, and I'll post a picture. I think I'll put a picture on my private page of what this spread looks like. Okay, so let me go to the list and let's see. Ooh, too many messages here. Okay. Curtis, right out of the bat, Curtis. Curtis, my love. Let's see what Spirit has for you. And you know what? If people that sit back and listen to other readings can get so much more than just a card. Trust me. All right, Mr. Curtis. Got Curtis, Connie, and Peggy. Curtis, Connie, and Peggy. Let me go back over here, because I'm trying to do... There we go. Curtis, Connie, and Peggy. Curtis. Let me swipe these. I'll keep this, I'll keep the comments up until I do the collective, because I really want to, this is going to be a really, really, I was shaking as I was laying these cards down. Oh, that's awesome. All right, Curtis. Nothing will come of this situation. Nothing will come of this situation. Meaning the thoughts and the worries or the contemplating or the going back and forth, it's pretty much what I see, the going back and forth. Nothing's going to become of that situation. It's just wasting energy and time. You need to just release that and not worry so much, or not, maybe not worry, it's not the best word for you. Maybe it's, I think there's a sense of worriness there, but it's more just figuring out different scenarios. And we can get so caught up in the scenarios that a couple of things can happen. One, we can sometimes create things to happen. Two, we don't get to live in our present moment, and that's the whole purpose of being here. Being spiritual or being religious or being whatever is beautiful, but we also have to remember to live. Now, that doesn't mean that we're living crazily or anything. That just means that we have to be in the moment. And if we're focused on the future, we can't be in the moment. It's impossible. Those energies don't go together. So that's what I have for you, my love. my baby, hung up on my baby mom. It's very hard to worry about what it's like if we, yeah, nothing's gonna, but you know, things like that you have to do that in your own timing and when you're ready. But just remember, the longer that you do something that's not in your highest and greatest good, the longer it takes for something of your greatest and highest good to come to you. So you have to weigh your options. The longer you stay focused on this, what you want can't come. All right. I hope that that's helpful. Connie, Miss Connie. Thank you guys for the shares and the stars, and I love the hearts and likes. That really, I love that when I'm reading. It's very inspiring, so I appreciate that. Ooh, Connie, what you got going on here? What you got going on here? Conclusions are within reach. So there's a circle coming back around. So a circle that you were trying to close up is coming to a close. In other words, there was something, okay, there is something with someone that you have been trying to loosen up, tie up loose ends and cut free from, and that is happening. And that will continue to happen as long as you're staying focused on just what you've been focused on, and just you're a beautiful energy because you focus on what you need to, but then you let it go and you continue to live life. So you're doing a very beautiful balancing act, and that is why that circle is coming to an end. Okay? You're going to be rewarded for that, and that circle is going to come to an end. Good morning, and Miss Peggy. Miss Peggy. It's time to release the negativity. It's time to go back down that rabbit hole, my love. It's starting to go back down that rabbit hole. I think that now is a really, really good time, and not just for you, but for all of us, as we're seeing more and more stuff come out, right? And it's like, oh my gosh, what else could I, don't ask that question because they will always show you something else. But there should be maybe some ritual with a shower of shower meditation, releasing of energy, just releasing those, cleaning your aura, maybe coming home and doing a little time out just to yourself and just sit there and meditate for a few minutes to kind of leave all that energy and everything outside the door and not bring it into the home and not bring it keep it onto our mind. But we've got to start doing better at releasing these thoughts, because that is the purpose of the dark agenda, is to keep us focusing on the craziness of everything, which keeps us distracted from focusing on what we should do. Okay? All right. I got Amanda, Aaron, and Renee. Amanda, Aaron, and Renee. Amanda, Aaron, and Renee. Amanda. Do not let pride get in your way. Do not let pride get in your way. Pride is a sneaky thing. Because Because we think of pride, we think of like an arrogance, right? And it's not always arrogant. That's really a falsehood. Now, sometimes it can be, no doubt, but not all the time is it that, okay? A lot of time it is the fear of being wrong, or wanting to be right before we can be proven wrong, or just that simple thing of not wanting to be proved wrong. But at the end of the day, people can't really prove you wrong, because you have your perception and they have theirs. And when you start looking at it from a basis of, well, that's just their perception, other than kind of like who's right, who's wrong, that lets you step out of that pride, that mentality, because that can kind of get us stuck, because then people say things back and forth to each other, right? And we don't always have to let people know what they've done. Trust me, they know. They know, whether they want to admit it or apologize. And I know that you're the type that's going to apologize. But remember, expectations is a falsehood. Okay? Expectation is one of those fake words. Expectations means I'm expecting you to do or react the way that I do. And we can't do that. So we know that we would apologize for something like that. But maybe they won't, right? And that's on them. Okay? And when it doesn't affect you like that anymore, then everything changes, right? Also with the person that's being all stubborn and doesn't want to apologize for things. So don't let pride keep you from keeping that eagle's view. Aaron. And guys, if you could please share out, I'd greatly appreciate it. That just shows that you really love and support me. All right. Or love and support what I do. What do you need to release, Aaron? What do you need to release? This is not an easy question to ask when we're dealing with so much grief. We're inclined to say that we need to release grief, but grief is not something that we can release. It's something that we have to learn to live with, so we can learn to manage, just like a disease, right? So grief wouldn't be it, but we can dig into grief, and there might be aspects of it that we might need to take a look at releasing. This is all still very fresh, so it's very hard to, whenever a wound is scabbing over, remember, we're not supposed to pick at it. We're not supposed to pick at scabs. We have to let it heal. So we have to have some time for, that at least one layer of skin to grow over. So I wouldn't even look at anything of that nature. I would look at one thing that you're doing, that you used to do in your daily, that you don't do now, that maybe you either don't do it or you procrastinate at doing, and look at that aspect, and don't look at trying to release so much, because we're not ready for that, and that's okay. Everybody does that in their own time. There isn't a guideline where you have to do this by this time or this time. Remember, everybody has their own way of doing things, right? So Spirit's telling me for you to look at one thing that you've been procrastinating about and focus on releasing the procrastination behind that, okay? And don't go too deep into your grief and try to release that as of right now, or anything to do with that. Miss Renee, guys, please let me know if I resonate with you. Hey Terry, good evening, good evening. All right. Take time to breathe. Take time to breathe, Renee. Take time to breathe. You know? You're a very disciplined person, but yet not disciplined enough for your own care. Being disciplined for work and your mission and different things that you're doing, that is beautiful. But we also have to be disciplined for ourselves and as well as taking care of ourselves, right? We have to be disciplined in that. And that's not always easy because, you know, things get in the way. But remember, whatever's getting in the way, we're allowing to get in the way because we've got that boundary we've let be crossed. And that's why it's in the way. So you need to take time to breathe. In other ways, you need to take time to just kind of take a few minutes out for you each day. Do something special for yourself once a week. And that will help with the anxiety, or not anxiety, that's not the right word, with the pressure level. With the pressure level, because it's not anxiety, it's pressure. But in order to release pressure, what do you have to do? In order to release pressure, what's the one thing you have to do? You have to open up a little bit. And the only way you can open up is by doing things for yourself. That's the only way to open up. Nobody else is going to do that for you. Trust me. Everybody else is going to take as much as they possibly can, right? So will everything around you. All right. Terry, Ann, and Kathy. Terry, Ann, and Kathy. Terry. You're welcome, my love. Time to give and then to take. Time to give, then to take. Time to give, then take. It's definitely not. It has nothing to do with money. Oh, okay. So we have to pay attention to what we're giving our time to, and make sure that we're giving our time to people in situations that are going to give back. Otherwise, we're giving our time to people in situations that are taking, and then we get in a situation where we want back, right? So we want to take. but it should be an automatic flow. I feel there's somebody in your life not giving a whole lot of attention, as is not duplicating the same behavior that you are giving. So it's not about that you're giving, it's about who you're giving to. So you need to look at, who are we giving this to, and why are we giving this to? Because it's shaping your time around other things that you were doing before. Remember, people come into our life to add to our life, right? Not take from our life. We go into people's lives to add to theirs, not take from theirs. They come into ours to add to ours, not take. And what happens with that is there's this energy exchange that happens, right? If I'm here to give and you're giving, and I'm giving and you're giving, guess what? We're both being able to take without the notion of taking. I hope that makes sense. I feel that something that's just really got you distracted. You need to pay attention to where you're giving yourself to. Miss Ann. Ooh, good. Pick that up. Miss Ann. Your dreams need a practical plan. Your dreams need a practical plan. And this is something that a lot of people will do, and I've done it, and I used to do it really bad, because we have all these ideas and different things that we want to do, and these dreams and different stuff that we want to accomplish. But we're used to a world of nonstop information, right? And by proxy, we end up doing that to ourselves, and we don't really mean to. So we have to take a few things at a time, the most important things that matter to us. Take one or two of those things and stay focused on that, even though there might be a slew of other things that we may want, or that we truly desire, or part of our dreams. If we have too many things going on in our mind, then nothing will get done. So we have to show discipline, and in order to be disciplined, we have to take back the control of our mind. Remember, our mind is to listen to us, not us listen to our minds. And that's one of the key things that none of us were taught, and many of us are learning now. And this is a great way to start putting that into exercise, putting that into action. Okay? Just pick one or two things, honey, and then write it all down so you can get it all out of your head, and then go back and go 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, whatever. But you can't do them all at the same time. You'll end up doing none of them, and then you'll be at the end going, dang, I really wish I would have done this, or I had plans to do this. You don't want to do that. There's not a reason why any of us should get to that part of our life and say, I regret I didn't do this. We've got enough regrets back there. Let's not create new ones. Ooh, this baby is burning. All right. Cat. Kathy. And then we have Christina and Millie and Tabitha. Christina, Millie, and Tabitha. Kathy. Yeah, just, you know, and a word to the wise, don't start on the most difficult one. I kind of go easy, medium, hard. That way you build up your momentum. Miss Kathy, what do we have for you, Miss Kathy? Bring love into the situation. Bring love into the situation. Bring love into the situation. I saw the word family member. So I'm not sure if you're having issues with a family member or if you're about to have issues with a family member. But the objective is to stay focused on the love aspect. Like, you know, I love this person. I don't love their actions. I'm not happy with this. I don't agree with that. Blah, blah, blah. But I love them, so you know, we can unconditionally love people even though we don't agree with them. And you know this because you're really good at this. But when things kind of get heated, it's easy to kind of lose that, right? Because emotions kick in. But that's what Spirit's telling me to tell you. That situation with the family member, if it's happening or when it does happen very soon, I feel that it is happening or is on the brink of. Just remember, as hard as it is sometimes, because I know I have that issue, because especially when it's, for me, when it's one of my children, it's just like, just bring love into it and know that as much as we don't agree with it, they have that right. And that's always hard. I hope that helped and resonated. Miss Christina. Miss Christina. Okay, we got last call on VIPs. Last call on VIPs. Okay, so we can get our burning and get down to our massive 33 free card spread. Woo-hoo. Does that resonate, Kathy? Yes, I think a lot definitely does. Okay. All right, Miss Christina. Nothing is set in stone. Remember that. That's such a beautiful thing. That used to kind of drive me crazy because I like things to be certain. I was a certain kind of gal. I like things to be right? But then I flipped how I looked at things. And because a lot of me wanting things in, and you're the same way, a lot of the reason why you and I want things going like a certain way is for that security, right? To know that there's a security there, that there's some certainty because we've dealt with a lot of uncertainty. But the beautiful thing, and what Spirit helped me do, that might work for you, and I'm being told to share it, so I guess they're saying it will, is to find how beautiful that nothing set in stone actually is, and how wide open that can make everything be. And instead of looking at the certainty of it. Change the narrative to the freedom of it, right? There's freedom in nothing being set in stone. There's actually freedom in uncertainty. Because we've gone through things where uncertainty equals negativity. But uncertainty doesn't always have to mean negativity. Okay? So, I hope that helps and resonates. Wow, that's cool. Miss Millie. Yes, and it drives me nuts with everything. You'd have to ask Peggy or Amanda, who's ever doing the list tonight. Oh yeah, you're on there, honey. I see you on there. Millie. Millie. You're welcome. Millie. Hold your vision. Hold your vision. Don't be thinking that just because people are talking about this is going to happen, or this might happen, or that might happen, that what you've been thinking about and wanting to do and create isn't going to happen. This is a beautiful time to create. This is a very beautiful time to create. It's actually more better now to create than ever before in history, because so many people are distracted. So there's more opportunity for those that want to create, because everybody else is too busy being distracted and scared that they're not seizing opportunities. So it opens up more opportunities for those that are focused. So stay focused. Okay, Miss Tabitha. Miss Tabitha. I hope that resonated, Millie. You are enough, my love. You are enough just as you are. Knowing more, being more, doesn't make you more, doesn't bring about more worth. It might bring about some more money sometimes, but that's nothing. It's just a medium, right? Just to get what you need. So even though we know that we may have some flaws, or we're trying to, take care of a few personal inventory things, that doesn't mean that our worth is any less than. Actually, our worth increases because of the ability to consciously see it and do something about it. See, a lot of people can consciously see that they need to do this, or know that they need to do that, but they do nothing. They're lukewarm. Remember I talked about being lukewarm and how bad it is about being lukewarm? So just know that you are enough right now as everything that you are, flaws and all of us, right? And that it is the soul that dictates everything. And Spirit just wants you to know that you are enough. Whether or not you truly believe that is irrelevant, because it doesn't change the reality that you are. Angelina. Yes. Oh, that's cool. Thank you. Thank you for allowing him to listen. The end of a tough cycle is approaching. End of a tough cycle is approaching. The frustrations that you have been centered around are coming to a close, which is beautiful. And these opportunities that come and when these situations come to a close is a beautiful thing. We just have to be very careful that when they come to a close, that we don't go back through the door. They come to a close for a reason. We're not supposed to go back through the door. We're supposed to go on to the next door. We go on to the next door. That's what Spirit wants me to tell you. Go on to the next door. Okay, thank you all my VIPs. I love you guys so much for your love and support and being a part of the tribe. Now we're going to burn some leaves, and I'm just going to name a handful of things that we're going to release with these leaves. Please, whatever you have to release, please say and speak it out loud in your home, or think it in your head, or write it down. Whatever you want to do, I don't care. But just hit that 11 likes as we go through this, so that way it really builds it up, okay? The first thing that we're going to release, we're going right into fear, okay? Fear. We have to release the fear, because no matter what happens, we will be okay. We're going to release anger, because it's okay to feel, but we're not going to keep ourselves trapped in anger. We're not going to leave ourselves trapped in anger. We're going to let go of addictions. Now's not the time to be feeding addictions, because your addictions can get way out of whack right now. So let's not feed addictions, let's release them. Let's not feed them, let's release them. Depression. We're going to release depression and realize that we have a lot more control over our thoughts and our feelings than we've been led to believe. We're going to release the guilt of grief. The guilt of grief. Releasing the guilt of grief. That it's okay to have grief, but it's not your responsibility to have fixed anything. And then I want to release negativity. Want everybody to start releasing that negativity. Do something to let it out of your system. Release it. All right, awesome. Those are the only ones I'm doing tonight, because I know everybody has a lot of personal ones. All right, so let's get started on this massive reading here. As you guys know, that have either had a reading with me before or have been on one of my lives, I have a unique way of doing my spread. I start out with what our objective is, okay? This is going to be our objective. And then I'm going to go through what our blocks are and what we need to release to help us with those blocks. I've got a little bit of everybody here. I got plenty of angels, fairies, unicorns, Mother Mary, Jesus, the archangels, Michael and Raphael, and another couple of little couple angel cards here. I've got a love reading. I've got crayon. I've got a crystal for us to work on. I've got our native card. I've got the butterflies. So we've got the fairies are here. So we got quite a bit of people here with us tonight. All right. So let's get started. First thing out of the bat. Ooh, Dark Night of the Soul. How funny. Why is that funny? Because that's actually what the world's having. You got some people thinking that it's about one world order, and you got other people thinking that it's about this or that, or I mean, the list is endless. But at the end of the day, this is a dark night of the soul that the world is having collectively together. Everything that you see, no matter how confusing, horrific, or mind-blowing it is important. Because in order for us to make something better, we have to see what is wrong. You can't fix something without knowing what there is to fix. You can't go to a doctor and have him treat you for something without knowing what the symptoms are. And what we're seeing, all the things exploding, different places, all over the places, are just symptoms of our own creation. Now, it's important to understand that in 3D, the dark and the light both have to exist. You can't have one without the other. That is 3D. That is what makes 3D happen. You can't have life until something dies. Okay? And so this is the 3D experience. Uh-oh. What happened? Hang on. Oh, no. No. We can't do that. Sorry. That's crazy. Just went in and changed. We can't have it without it. Okay? And that's what we came here to live. It's a 3D experience. Now I know everybody's wanting to jump ship and get on the ships and be taken by angels, or doing this or doing that, or the world's coming to an end, but the world never comes to an end. See, this is the fork in the road that we get at every time, and then we jump over to another timeline, right? So this dark night of the soul is, it's going to stir up a lot of emotions with many, many different people, and that's okay. You can't control other people's emotions. You can only, allow yourself to feel yours and then release them. But do know that when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, things have gotten this far out of control because we have allowed it. We have fed into convenience to the point that that is the reason why we are here. Okay? That is the reason why we are here, is because we haven't held things accountable. And I talk about this all the time. I'm not one of those that are one of those people that are going to sit there and get, oh yeah, these people over here, and this da-da-da-da-da. I'm not going to stir that up. You know why? Because that's bypassing. Because the real problem is us. You know, it's important to be held accountable, and that's how you keep the dark in check. So that's why we're having this dark night of the soul. So what are our blocks? Well, angel whispers. Really knowing who you're talking to. Many people are talking to things and entities, but not everybody knows exactly who they're talking to. Not knowing who your spiritual team is. I tell you guys this all the time. How important that is to know. People say, well, I know I'm talking to my spirit guide. Oh, you do? Who are they? How long have they been with you? What was their, what are they teaching you? Because each guide has a different reason. I mean, there's a ton of questions. People say, well, Tanya, I don't have time to learn all that. Okay. Then you don't have time to win in life. Because at the end of the day, how can you win the game of life all by yourself? I mean, you have angels, you have spirit guides, you have, the Holy Spirit, you've got God, the unconditional love frequency of God, you've got Jesus, and you've got, Buddha, you've got all these things that you can, to connect to help guide you, but yet you don't have time. So you'll just believe whatever you hear. You don't have time to do it right. You hear this voice in your head, and since it's not what you would normally think, you think it's from spirit. And I've been talking about this with you guys because it's very important that you know how to discern where that message is coming from. That's key. That's key, especially right now. Another block. Heartache and loss. Heartache and loss. We can't be stuck in it. We can't be looking out there and noticing. And it's okay to be sad about some things that you're coming to knowledge of, or some things that you're learning, or even be sad about, the good old days because you've lost those. Those good old days are what they are. They're something of the past. We have to make new good days. There is no good old days. And if we can take a moment to appreciate those good old days, but if we're focused on, man, I wish the world was, what it once was, then you're sitting in this energy of no appreciation of what you do have. You can, there's nothing wrong with, having a fond memory, but people get so wrapped up into the world is such a worse place now. No, it's not. You're just seeing it now. Now, are there some events that we've never seen come to pass? Of course. That's part of life. But the world's no screwed up more than what it's always been. It's just more noticeable because we have social media and we're able to connect and see throughout the world. Believe. Whatever your faith is, and lack of faith is a faith. Whatever your faith is, now's the time for it to be tested. What do you truly believe? Not what you're going to tell me you believe here on the live, where you've got people around you, or you can say whatever you want over behind a keyboard. I want to know what your faith is when you're laying in bed alone at night thinking. That's where your faith comes to play. Are we laying there thinking, oh my gosh, I can't believe all this is happening. The world's coming to an end. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, what are you, when you're alone, what are you thinking? What you are thinking will tell you what your faith is. It's one thing to take all this information that we have and we collectively come together and do something constructive with it, which, that time is coming. And that will be grand and wonderful. But when we're by ourselves, that's when faith is tested. That's when you'll see what you're really made of, what you truly believe in. Is what you're saying before you close your eyes and go to sleep. What are you saying? What are the last thoughts on your mind? Because we all have something on our mind. We all have a thought before we close our eyes and go to sleep. We all have a thought. Now, what that thought is can be different for many. Actually, nighttime is the worst time to pray. You don't want to pray going to sleep, because that is a needing energy. That's a desperational energy. You want to pray when you wake up, giving the whole day for things to happen, to come to fruition in your prayers. At night, it should be gratitude. But that is what I'm being told to tell you guys, is look at what you're saying when you're by yourself at night. Perfect. All right, so what is some things we can do? Ooh, positive intention. This is going to be so important right now. Positive intention. Intention is going to be the most important thing of all over the next year. It's keeping that intention in the right spot. It's not allowing ourselves to get so wrapped up in, let's get them, or let's get him, down with Trump, hope he goes to jail. Yet you watch what you're paying your energy to. Don't let your emotions of someone cause you to misinterpret what you're seeing. Don't allow your emotions take you from the light into the dark. Allow yourself to feel your emotion, express it, and then release it. You are not how you feel. And that is a state of being. Your feelings is just a state of being for a fleeting moment. Don't allow yourself to get so wrapped up in that your intentions change and then you start going a different path. Truth. Truth. It's kind of hard to know what truth is right about now, ain't it? I will tell you, the most important thing for you to do is, if there's anything that you're hearing that you're in question of, then you need to sit with that. And you need to discover your own truth about it. It doesn't need to be shoved at you. I'm speaking truth right now, but if this truth doesn't resonate with you, it doesn't resonate. And that's okay. Truth should never come at you in a demanding, accepting form. It just is. But we have a way of doctoring it up and shoving it down people's throats. pointing fingers. Truth is just truth. Transformation. Are you going to let what's going on in the world break you down, break you in half? Or are you going to let it transform you? You know, we're repeating a lot of history of World War II right now. And people wonder, they always say when they look back at that part of history and say, I just don't understand how so many people could let that happen. Well, take a look around. Maybe now you can understand. So are we going to be one of those people? Are we going to take the opportunity and transform ourselves through this process so we can help others transform themselves? In every dark time in history, people have risen above it. People have made businesses. People have evolved. People have grown. New companies were developed. New services were invented. So there's always growth from the madness. Just like when a seed's in the ground, it's all these little roots and stuff, and it's all just like a bunch of blah, 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 and then it blooms. That's all we're doing. But we have to work through all the crud. So are you going to, if everything went to a digital system tomorrow, are you going to collapse and not be able to handle that? If you would, then you need to really look at why. Because there's nothing out there that makes you who you are. If it happens, then we just stand up. Well, if it happens, I just don't got no choice. I just have to accept it. What am I going to do? And blah, 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 blah. No. No, 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 no. This is where your faith, you step into it. Crayon saying intuition. It's very important to tap into your intuition. Your intuition is that stoplight. It is yellow. Slow down. Don't try to rush through. Slow down. Do I need to turn right, or do I need to turn left, or do I need to go forward? That is your discernment. Learn how to use it. You need this more now than you've ever needed it in your life. And I can tell you this, and you can turn this video off later, and you can go tomorrow and say, oh, I don't know, I don't know. You do know. Shut up with the I don't knows and sit there and tune into yourself. Take what you need to do so you can know. Now's not the time for any of us to be a victim any longer. We have to pull out of that victim mode. That is the only way the collective can come together and create change. The butterflies are realizations and epiphanies. Oh my goodness, those are going to happen left and right. Left and right. Epiphanies. Whew. You're going to see them and you're going to be mind blown. And that's wonderful. That means that there's a connection. There's a fire happening within your your neurons. Awakening awareness. Awakening awareness. Remember, this is an ongoing process. So don't let any spiritual person up here on these platforms tell you that they know it all. We're all constantly waking up to some other kind of consciousness, some other kind of learning. There is no one that knows everything. That does not exist in a 3D realm. Why do you think that we're creating AI? AI will know everything. That's a totally different subject. But we are so obsessed with knowing everything that we are creating a being outside of ourselves that will end up wanting to be more than us. That's how far the ego has gone. Pure intentions. The unicorns are even saying intentions. Intentions. It's really important. It doesn't matter what you say with your words. It's how you act. It's how you walk. It does not matter. Your words are important, yes. But if your words and your actions don't line up, neither mean anything. And you're actually a fake, a hypocrite, which makes you worse off than if you did nothing at all. Love life. Love life. If you're in a relationship, then you two need to come together and understand that this really kind of understand that this is a time for y'all to kind of unite. This isn't really about all the lovey-dovey fuzzy stuff right now. And if you're looking for love, now's not the time. You will come across love and it will not be right. The energy is not right now. If you already have someone, that's different. I'm talking to my single people. Those of you that, oh my God, does he love me? Oh, is he thinking of me? That energy is so not needed right now for our collective. It is one of the lowest vibration energies, and we need to collectively come together, and let's put that on the back burner for now. We have a lot more important things going on that we need to come together on than worrying about if Joe Blow over here that you just had dinner with one time is your soulmate. Because let me tell you something, if he is your soulmate, there would be no question. Mother Mary's telling you, Jesus. I pray for Jesus' help, guidance with this situation. That's kind of fitting, isn't it? Since tomorrow is Good Friday. You know, I know that Easter is kind of like a really mixed opinions when it comes to Easter. But at the end of the day, that man was murdered. And you know, if he was walking today in this time and age, y'all would murder him again. It's not about the Jews did it. He would be murdered now. Regardless of what your faith is or what you believe, I think that it's very respectful to pay some respect when someone has died on our behalf. That doesn't mean you have to see it the same way I do. I'm just throwing that out there. That this is a powerful week. And he rose again in 3 days. Well, what does that mean? Well, you know, that's just a fairy tale that the church tells the people. No, it's not. Do you not believe that your loved ones are with you? He showed us that life after death is possible. That was the purpose. So, in my opinion, it's a time to be respectful and give gratitude. That's from me, not spirit. But Jesus' card says, love one another as I have loved you. We talked about that on one of our spiritual Sundays. That's hard to do. People say, oh, I love. You love until somebody doesn't do what you want them to do, or they do something that you think is ungodly and horrific, or when they no longer service you. Then let's replace you with either another friend or another relationship. Everybody's in the business of replacement. Oh, well, I don't need no relationship. I'll just replace you with a drink, or I'll replace you with food, or I'll replace you with shopping. You know, we have to quit looking at people as disposable items that we're so used to throwing away, like we do every single day. How many things do we throw away every single day that could be either recycled or reused? We're just so used to, I'm done. Trash, basura, no mas. And this is why it's hard for us to love one another as He loved us, because we're used to replacing. We're used to dismissing people. Oh, well, you piss me off. You know what? I don't like the way you type that sentence and what you think you mean by that, but I'm going to block you. We don't even have those conversations. It's just block. You could spend years knowing somebody and they just block you the next day. You don't even have to have it out with them. You're dispensable. We need to get back to knowing that every person is worth something, and we just don't throw people away. We may have to move away from them. We may have to keep them way over there because they are not healthy for us, but we don't throw nobody away. Nobody. Some people you have to give up to forces and allow them to be dealt with however is needed, but we never throw anybody away. People are not a coffee pod. Archangels are saying victory, victory. There's so much good in the world. There's so much good coming from all this. Yes, we can focus on all the news and everything, but the news is just not mainstream media, but the news that you get from, people that are really doing the journalism for what it's supposed to be, objective information, non-objective information, right? So if you're lucky enough to follow some of those creators that are really doing the hard work, and you'll see that there's victory going on everywhere. I mean, do any of y'all pay attention to what's going on in France? People say, oh, it's just about, them raising the age of their retirement. No. It goes much deeper. They just stormed BlackRock's headquarters. No, it goes much deeper. What do you really know that's going on? Or are you just being fed by CNN or NBC or ABC? I hope not, my love. I hope that you're enough aware to know that you have to do your own research for information. We're at a time that you can't just sit there on your butt and flip channels and expect to be spoon-fed the truth. It doesn't work that way anymore. But victory is there. There's a lot of great things going on. Dear, okay, so we got Raphael. It says, Dear Archangel Raphael, please help me to trust my feelings as the accurate of not being... Wait. Hang on, sorry. Please help me trust my feelings and use my intuition for truth. Trust my feelings and use my intuition for truth. Why do we not use that? Now, why is that on a Raphael card? I can tell you why. Because Raphael is a healer of mind, hearts, body, and souls. And he is saying that it's any time that we don't trust our intuition or something of that nature, there's something within our soul that's not right. Because this is our inner compass. This is our God-given gift that we're able to do. So for it not to be on, turned on, flipped on, plugged in, whatever you want to say, that means that there's something wrong. And you must figure that out. He's a great one to pray to. Michael is saying honor and... Michael's saying the same thing. Honor and trust your feelings. But this is kind of a different message, right? Well, Tanya, you said our feelings can go all over the place. They can. But we can still trust them. Doesn't mean they're always right. But see, our feelings will change. The type of feelings that we have at one level of vibration will change when we reach another level of vibration. And the feelings that we used to have about one thing here will not be the same here. And the further you raise your vibration, the less of those negative vibrations you have. That's why I tell you, get out of that victim mentality, because that's down here at the bottom. And we've all been victims, especially what's going on in the world. We're all victims, but we're all perpetrators of the same thing. So we just need to keep that vibration raised. And the only way to do that is not to allow any of our negative feelings stay connected to us. If you're sad about something and you saw something, like we had that Nashville with the kids, I cried. Of course I cried. That's horrible. But I didn't hang on to it. I didn't dwell on it. The world's not ending because that happened. It's a tragic, something tragic, yes. Now what are we going to do about it? See, what ends up happening is we stay so caught up in the feelings that we never create change. How can you create change? There's no change on this vibration. That's why you're allowed to feel it and then let it go. So that way, if you're vibrating here and you feel something at a deeper density, you can still release it and it won't weigh you back down. But you have to be willing to do that. Trust, another trust card. Trust your decisions. March to your own beat of your own heart. March to the beat of your own beat of your own heart. March to the beat of your own beat to your own heart. Beauty. Find the beauty in things. If you think everything's horrible in life, maybe you should need to go turn on some cat videos or laughing videos or, nature videos. I don't know, but find something that you can find beauty in. Pull yourself out of that vibration. Things are going to get uglier, so it really depends on how we can handle the ugliness of what direction we're going to go. Yes, we could collapse, but every time we collapse, we rebuild. So collapsing is not the end of the world. It's undesirable, of course. The only way to try not to totally collapse is stop collapsing completely on everything. Innocence. Innocence. That takes me right to the children. Those of you that have children or that have grandchildren, are you having those conversations of what your kids think about what's going on in the world? Are you having those conversations? Because they need to be heard and have a place to express it. Trust me, you don't want them having to reach out to their friends to express how they feel about what's going on in the world. You want to have them to be able to come to you. You want to have those conversations so that way they can feel safe, that they can come to you with anything. So if they are having those dark thoughts, they can come to you instead of going hidden on their computer or in their room on their phone, and they just decide to, you know what, I don't want to have any part in this. It's really important to talk to the children. Healing the heart. That's what this is all about, healing the heart. It's going to be a hard month. We've got Mercury retrograde coming too. So we need to use Mercury to help us show us what's inside of our heart that we need to deal with. Worth. Know your worth. It's important for you to know your worth. And even if you feel worthless, keep in mind that you are a child of God. You've got divine energy flowing through your veins. That's unconditional love, so that is worth something. Even if you can't find anything else that you believe you're worth for, know that. Even though there's so much more, sometimes we're not ready to think that we're so much more. So just when you start thinking like that, remember, I've got the divine, unconditional love of God flowing through my veins. I've got that energy within my body. What crystal are we going to work with? Ooh, rhodonite. Rhodonite. Rhodonite is, it's a love stone. I think it's more, I know everybody loves rose quartz, but rhodonite has so much healing properties. I think rose quartz gets more hoopla than it's worth. I wish rhodonite got more because it helps you deal with the inner of you that lacks self-love or self-worth. It also it has a lot of healing physical properties, so please check that out. Look that up. Your spirit guides are saying intuition. How many intuition cards? We got 1, 2, 3. 3 intuition and 3 trust cards. Wow. Flow. Flow. Please do not get under the assumption that going with the flow means that we are going with whatever. Going with the flow has nothing to do to conformity to other people or other governments or anything like it. Conformity. It has nothing to do with that. Going with the flow just means we're not going against the resistance. The flow is within us. It's our energy flow. It's our energy flow. And it's getting our energy into flow. We get nothing in flow if all we do is wake up, go to work, come back, and go back to bed. We're not doing any kind of energy flow. We need to have our flow going. We can do that by, all your spiritual hygiene that I try to teach you guys. There's many, many ways. But remember that you have the tiller in your hand. Only you can dictate who or what can take your mind, your soul. Everything else can be taken. You don't have rights to anything. Sorry to burst your bubble, but you don't. Everything that is around you right this very second, me included, can be taken away in a heartbeat. But our mind and our soul cannot. The unicorns, oh my God. So that's 4. That's 4 intentions. That's crazy. It's very important what you focus your intentions on this month, that's for sure. The fairies are saying, come together. Come together. Use your resources. Some of you have, like in my VIP, I started a little chat. There's a room in there. If you're having a rough day or whatever, there's a place for you to vent. Start utilizing, that. If there's also the chat room to, talk and get connected. We all need that as well. You have a circle of friends. If you don't, make one. Find a tribe to be a part of. It's important to come together with mind-like people. This is very, very important in this time. Power of prayer. That's abundance, angels. It says, give this situation to God. Be uplifting and healing. And be open-minded to miracles. Heaven's unlimited resources, love and answers are waiting for your prayers. Be sure to act upon divine guidance when it's given. God gives you a response in your prayers. And then, so prayer is great. It doesn't mean it. We have to, some people like to pray and then dictate how that prayer is going to be answered. Remember, prayer is putting it there and then allow it to be brought. Don't tell God or the universe or your angels demand what you want. That's not how that works. You have to be the vibration of which you seek. Our love reading. Love yourself first. I think that came up last time. Love yourself first. That doesn't mean in a conceited way. That means if you can't handle being alone, please don't go out and try to get a relationship right now, because you will draw the most toxic person to you. Why? Because if you can't love yourself and you're searching for a relationship, you have this like light above your head says, nee, nee, nee. And the narcissist know, hey, look, she doesn't love herself, so I'm going to have fun with this one. And then you sit over there and you cry and you're like, why do I always find the same type of person? Why? I try to be a really good person. Because you're not good to yourself yet. And until you can do that, your vibration's here, so all you can attract is what you are. Flirt. Have some fun. Have some fun. Be flirtish. But not to people that don't be flirtish to people that are in relationships with other people. I don't care how nice looking they look or, all that good stuff. There's an appropriate time and place. But have fun. It's safe to be loved. We're not talking on a romantic level. It's safe for you to be loved by others. It's safe for you to be loved by a community. It's safe for you to be loved with a tribe. It is safe for you to be in a spiritual community family. It is safe. Okay? And then our last card is, this is from all our loved ones. I do a loved one card from anybody that's passed. The earth is our school. Remember that. They know that now. The earth is our school. And just like with school, if you don't pass, you might have to repeat a grade. But do not be in fear. This world is not coming to an end. Mother Nature will always find a way to carve back and bounce back. Okay? So, that was pretty deep. The main message. Can anybody tell me what the main message was here? Intuition and intent. Intuition and intent. Dealing with the dark night of the soul. Go ahead and, we all have to go and process that. We do. But right now, it's most important to start loving and trusting yourself. You know what? If you can't trust your intuition, that means that you don't trust yourself. And if you don't trust yourself, that means that you don't unconditionally love yourself. So you have to look at that and say, well, why don't I trust myself? Well, look at some of the decisions and things you've got us into. Okay. Well, why did I do that? Remember, I always tell you guys, if you want to heal, you got to go backwards with the why. And you got to keep asking the why, and the why, and the why, and the why, until you get down to the nitty gritty. I was going to say something else. But we have to understand, well, why is that? Well, that's because let me ask you something. If you're truly in love with someone, let's say you have a partner and you're madly in love with them, you trust them, don't you? Or her. Or it, or them, or whatever. I don't get into all that. But you have to be able to do that for yourself. And there's going to be more and more horrifical things to see. This is why I'm telling you to work on these things, because you're going to need your own backbone. There may come a day that I'm not going to be able to be up on this platform. There may not be service. So we've got to get to the point that if everything was shut off and we were to ourselves, that we wouldn't go mad. But the only way to do that is to get in right with ourselves. You know what I mean? We have to get right with ourselves, because at the end of the day, that's all that you have. Yes, you have outside of yourself, but if everything was cut off, what are you going to do with that? And this is what I'm trying to get you to build yourself up to, that you can still stand in balance, in integrity, and be the same person you are now, or healed, than you would be facing whatever. You might be scared shitless. I'm not saying you won't be scared. I'm not saying there's no fear there, and I'm not saying you ain't going to be scared. What I am saying is that you stand in your integrity. But in order to have integrity, you have to know what it is that your integrity is based on. And it has to be based on self-love. If it's based on anything outside of that, if the foundation, the cement of the building isn't of love, it will fall when pressure comes. And I don't want that for you. This is why I'm pushing to get you guys to do that. Sure, there's some things that you need to do to be smart, and things that you should, have extra of. I mean, we just did a oregano oil thing together last weekend, because there are other things we need to start, kind of looking at things. But we have to be able to stand in our integrity, and they cannot take your integrity. They cannot. They can take everything else, baby, but they can't take that. And that in itself is worth something. So remember that as you feel that your freedoms are being taken away, and this is being taken away, and that's being taken away, remember that what really matters is your integrity, and they cannot take that. So they can never win. Nothing or nobody can win. Okay? It's going to be a tough month. I'm not going to lie. We got a lot of shit that's coming at us. But please know that you have a support system. You have whether or not you've reached out to accept it, that's on you. But you have a support system here. Okay? Thank you so much for being with me tonight. And, that energy was deep. And if you're interested in a personal reading, of course you can reach out to me. If you want some mentorship, I have that program. I have my VIP, which is only $4.99. And my VIPs can always reach out and chat with me whenever they need something. But I do have a new mentor one-on-one thing that I've started. And if you're interested on anything that I have, there's 3 dots down there. You can click on that. There's a link tree, and it has all my information on there, okay? And I love you guys so much. I'm here. My team's here. It's going to be okay. It's going to be shitty for a while, but it's going to be okay. So we have to find the good things. We have to look for the good when we know there's a shit storm coming. Okay? I love you. Have a blessed night. Enjoy the full moon. Make sure that, if you're into moon water, make it. Or put your crystals out, or whatever you like to do. And enjoy this time. Okay? Love you. Adios.